Good morning, beautiful people. Coming to you live from 4 World Trade in New York City. It's gloomy, it's doomy outside. It looks like we arrived in Gotham. Waiting for Batman to pop his face out of his billion-dollar mansion, hop on a motorcycle that turns into a hoverboard, and chase down some terrible humans on the streets. We love New York City. It's great to be back here. Joining me right now is Diggs instead of Ty, because Ty said just a week ago that he had a dream that he was on a plane, and that plane crashed and killed everybody on the plane. So, hello to a world where I will never get on the same plane as Ty Schmidt again. We will miss him here for the next 2 hours, but Diggs will be stepping in his place in beautiful fashion. Evan Foxy's bossing people around in the back room. Zito's manning the phones, 1-833-622-3331. Massive day in sports. Today, Wednesday, February 26th, the NFL CBA seems to be on the road to approval. The NFL's future seems to be a very different one. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about Zion, LeBron, battling last night in the City of Angels. Zion looked like he had no fear playing against the generational talent that is LeBron James. We'll talk about that. We have Nick Mangold joining us in about 28 minutes. Legendary human being. He'll be on a phoner. Have no idea what we'll talk about, but can't wait to chat with him about that. Big time Wednesday. This is a big time Wednesday in the big city that looks like absolute hell right now. If you're back there, Foxy, please play some Chase Rice.
It's the perfect occasion for a little vacation from the heart of the nation. Out of your medication, 2 hours of magic. Let's give it a go. Ladies and gents, it's the Pat McAfee Show.
You're damn right it is, Chase Rice. Today, if I am accurate here, Zito and Fox are in the back room with New Yorkers.
Yes, sir.
They'll probably be a little bit more onto it than I am. In my ear, I got a little birdie to talk to me. Mm-hmm. Today marks a 27-year anniversary of the first bombings at the World Trade Center. Is that accurate?
That is correct.
27 years ago today, the first bombings, which I believe were down in the basement,
yes,
or if I'm 100% accurate, 27 years ago, the first set of bombs went off at the World Trade Center. Obviously, evacuation. Happy to be back here. By the way, want to let you know, you can try to knock them down 27 years ago. Mm-hmm. You can try to knock them down September 11th. What does America do? What did New Yorkers do? Build up bigger, stronger. You will not intimidate us. We're back in 4 World Trade in the middle of a cloud-covered New York City.
New Yorkers are the toughest of tough people. Americans are the toughest of tough country. You can't keep us down.
You put 2 and 2 together, I think you're going to offend a lot of people in a lot of states saying New Yorkers are the toughest of tough people.
They are. I mean, I'm not even from there, and I'll admit it.
Is that right?
Yeah.
We'll go ask a farmer in Iowa if he feels like he is absolutely intimidated at all by a New Yorker. We will do those things. But New Yorker, by the way, spent a lot of time in New York this fall. Mm-hmm. Good people. I think they get painted in a bad image because maybe somebody will have a bad interaction with somebody. Anytime I've asked for advice or help, though, here in New York, like, hey, where's the crapper? A New Yorker will be like, down there, like real quick, though. You know what I mean? They don't have a lot of time for you, which I think a lot of people have a sense that that's a little standoffish. But in fact, I think it's the complete opposite. I've had nothing but good experiences with a lot of New Yorkers.
Exactly. They're just busy people. They have things to do.
Even though I was taking a vitamin thing right to the head last night on the street, cop walked by, said hello. I said hello.
What's decriminalized?
One on his way. I mean, it was a beautiful
Give you a parking
day.
ticket?
I didn't even get that. I think the guy wanted to hit it. I was like, I get it. You're a cop in New York. You got to see a lot. Mm-hmm. Probably enjoy this with some vitamins. Speaking of enjoying something, we're in New York for a prestigious award.
Yes, very.
It's being called the Heisman of Radio.
Yeah.
First year out the gate, get the chance to win the Tony Bruno Award.
Like I said, I mean, the Heisman started at some point. The Tony Bruno Award started at some point. It's already the Heisman of radio.
Yeah, Heisman of Radio I'm winning, which, by the way, prestigious award. Excited to be here. Have to give an acceptance speech today at about 1 o'clock. Can't wait to hear what flies out of my mouth. Did a sit-down last night with Jason Barrett, good guy, Barrett Sports Media. Had a Q&A for like an hour last night. Got to talk a little bit. I haven't spoken in front of humans in a long time. So getting a chance to speak in front of people is a good time. I always enjoy doing that. Diving deep into the stories. A lot of question about how we do the radio show, how we prep for the radio show. And I was as honest as I could in a room full of program directors that could potentially pick our show up on their station, which is the goal of radio shows, is to get picked up on other people's stations. I said we have no idea what we're doing, and we think that is potentially a massive weapon for this Pat McAfee.
The most surprising thing about last night was you told them our preparation, which we never thought was much. They were kind of impressed with how much we prepped.
Yeah, I guess a lot of people don't do any conversation beforehand. And I told them that our prep is just living, right? Like bouncing around the city. For instance, Diggs and the boys were on an elevator with a guy last night. As the guy gets off the elevator, he says, I'm an elevator worker. I've worked on all of these elevators. It's a death trap. Have a good night. Elevator door closes.
It's probably the all-time worst elevator I've ever been into. All the numbers on the elevator, on the buttons, are upside down or sideways. It inches, like, you know how when you go up a roller coaster and you inch up? That's basically how the elevator worked where we were at. And he
It was
goes,
like a one-in ride.
Yeah. And he goes, everything you've ever seen in the movie, it's all bull. Like, there's no way to get out of this thing. It's a metal death trap. You're dead, pretty much.
And then the door closes and that guy leaves the elevator.
Yeah.
That's our prep. That is what our prep is, sir. That moment right there of scaring us to near death is our prep for our show. And they're like, oh, that's very smart. I'm like, well, I don't think we're there. That's why our prep is much different. But we're honored to be here. Last night, late night, got a chance to check out Zion, LeBron. The Lakers played host to my team, the New Orleans Pelicans. Pat, why are the New Orleans Pelicans your team? At one point, you actually bought 5,000 tickets for the Indiana Pacers for their first playoff run and gave them away to the city of Indiana just to ensure the fact that that place was sold out. I agree. I was once a Pacers fan. That team, Paul George, Roy Hibbert, Lance Stevenson, the boys, George Hill, Frank Vogel, that team, I was friends with all of them. This new generation of Pacers, I don't know any of them. Not a single one of them. I respect Victor Oladipo. I think he's a good singer. I like the white guy that they have, TJ McConnell. I like the other white guy, but I don't know any of them personally. The Pelicans, I feel a deep connection to because I've been watching Zion Williamson dunk on white kids for the last 25 years. I honestly feel like for the last 20, he's not even 25 years old, but I feel like for most of my adulthood life, I've been watching Zion just dunk on people on the internet. He is the phenom in the basketball world, Zion Williamson. He is everything that everybody was saying about LeBron James coming out of high school and coming into the NBA, but before the social media era. He is the modern day LeBron James. So anytime Zion and LeBron are on the same court, the world's going to stop for a little bit. Now, granted, the world that we're in right now obviously has a pandemic happening where there is a state of emergency in every single place. It's not being talked about enough, not being talked about a lot. I'm trying to stay ignorant to this whole thing because I think it's a very scary sitch. But Dean Koontz wrote a book in 1981 that's, I think, predicted this entire thing.
Word for word.
But anyways, so to distract us from what's really happening, we watch these sports. That's what sports is, by the way, a distraction. That's what this show's supposed to be, a mental vacation. It's not supposed to be anything that's real deep thought. But when Zion and LeBron hop on a court together and play against each other, I am tuning in. The present greatness of basketball, the present face of basketball, the current state of basketball all runs through LeBron James. When I watched that Dwayne Wade documentary, it was a 30 for 30, I think, on Sunday night maybe, Dwayne Wade, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was on the other night. And Dwayne Wade's reaction to the decision and coming to the Heat, and his family's reaction was like, hey, we did it. Like, hey, okay, we're going to eat now. Like, he was friends with him.
Yes.
Watching how the other players treat LeBron and respond to LeBron, and LeBron basically being like the leader of the entire league, not just of the Lakers. That is what Zion's going to be in like 10 years from now, right? So when LeBron is done, whenever it is, he's 17 years in, he's still yakking on folks. Last night, that dunk from Charlie Caruso through the legs. That dunk, Charlie Caruso. That dunk on old buddy.
Close enough.
What's his name?
Alex.
Yeah, Mr. Caruso. Charlie Caruso, WWE, ESPN. Mr. Caruso, LA Lakers.
Yeah.
That pass through the leg to LeBron with the was nasty. In year 17, he's still going up. It is still LeBron James' league, okay? I don't want to be a person that goes on record and goes, this is Zion's league. It's going to be Zion's league, though, very soon. Zion said in the next 2 to 3 years he's going to get it, right? And I think Zion's underselling himself. I think he's already starting to get it. All the people that thought Zion was not going to be able to play in the NBA are already proven wrong. Already proven wrong. 20 straight points for 9 games under the age of 20 ties Carmelo Anthony for an NBA record. Zion Williamson is becoming this player that we didn't think he would become. He's becoming this ground and pound, underneath guy that's willing to go to work in the paint if he has to. He reminds me of, who's that guy from Pitt that had bad knees?
DeJuan Blair.
DeJuan
No
Blair.
ACLs.
No ACL. He reminds me of how DeJuan Blair used to play back in the day. Kind of a thick body, low center of gravity, but had a good read on where the ball's going. Zion's got that. He's got a step back. And whenever Zoe throws that oop, I mean, it is everybody stops what they're doing and cameras come out as if it's a Super Bowl kickoff. So when Zion and LeBron play each other, you know that LeBron knows all these things.
Oh, yeah.
LeBron hears all these things. Jay Williams told a story when Kobe Bryant passed away. He said that when he met Kobe, or a story that he remembers about Kobe is their first time playing in L.A., they were playing the Lakers. And he said he wanted to get over to the arena at about 3 o'clock to do a shoot-around. And when he got there to do his shoot-around, he was a rookie. Kobe was on the other side of the court. And Jay was doing his shoot-around, whatever it was. And Kobe went through like the hardest workout he's ever seen a human go through. He was doing all these things. He was going like a full practice all by himself, basically, while Jay Williams is standing on the other side of the court, just putting up like free throws. Like this whole thing happened. So Jay asked him after the game, he said, is that normal? Is that what you do? And Kobe said, no, I saw you over there. He said, I want to let you know, basically, that this is how this goes. Like this is how this, I saw the young guy come in and Kobe went ham. LeBron did that last night.
Oh, yeah.
Zion came into his house. Everybody has heard the talk about Zion being the next LeBron. Everybody has heard this conversation that Zion is potentially the pop culture icon that LeBron is, and Zion can go on to be the next LeBron and be the face of this league relatively soon because of how nice he is, how upbeat he is, how hardworking he is, how much his teammates like him, and how talented he is. And LeBron went to work. I thought there was a chance LeBron was going to score 100 points last night. I like this new LeBron, by the way. New LeBron is, now they have so much more length than the Pelicans, my Pelicans, and they took advantage of that. But even if you go back to the Celtics game just a couple days ago, LeBron is backing people down. He has changed his game a bit here in year 17, becoming much more, I don't want to say unpredictable, but I think he's utilizing a lot of the bigness that he has that not a lot of other people have, that a lot of people have always wondered about. LeBron can take it to the rack anytime he wants. Sometimes he decides to do a pull-up and people go after him. They're like, well, LeBron's 6'8". He doesn't want to take it to the rack. He wants to do a pull-up. He should do that. LeBron has become one of the most well-rounded players in the NBA, hitting fadeaway threes whenever he wants, banging into paint, step backs, everything like that. And that's why LeBron's LeBron. He's getting better year after year. And watching Zion kind of develop into this super confident NBA guy who doesn't view people as like idols anymore. He just views them as peers in competition. Like, I love everything that happened last night. Ultimately, the Lakers get the win. Zion puts up 29. Brandon Ingram, who's only 22 years old, puts up 34. LeBron puts up 40. The Lakers get a win. Dwight Howard playing really good basketball for the Lakers finally. Caruso's good. That young squad of the Pelicans, I mean, it was a win-win, that trade of Zoe and Ingram.
Yeah.
From the Lakers to the Pelicans. Zoe found a jumper in New Orleans. They've got a young team. The Lakers are a good team. And I'm very happy with the state of the NBA, especially because I'm a Zion diehard.
LeBron, we know what LeBron is, but I think the way that LeBron played last night said more about Zion, because I think he knows how good Zion is and how much he already respects Zion, that he knew what he had to do with his game last night.
Yeah.
And then Zion in that Pelicans offense where they just run and run and run, and Alvin Gentry says, we can't run on some possessions. We have to run on every single possession. Is great because it spreads the floor for Zion so he can use his athleticism. And then he is getting really good at using his leverage and putting a shoulder into someone who's taller to create space, because then he has the athletic ability. And his second jump Like when he misses a shot and he knows where it's going, because obviously he knows his second jump is quicker than anyone, so he can get back up. The thing that Zion needs to prove on, I think, is a little bit of his handles, so that he could get by guys easier and doesn't need to do everything in the paint. And then he did hit one. He's only hit 1 3 since that opening night where he hit 3 in a row. But, I mean, that'll come. The kid, he's 19 years old. He's going to be incredible.
LeBron couldn't shoot early either. Not by couldn't shoot. He's a better shooter than you or I.
Correct. He just wasn't.
But in NBA standards, him knocking down shots, everybody's like, well, LeBron can't shoot. Kobe can shoot. That was always the big conversation. Kobe can do this. Kobe can do this. And Kobe was just a scorer through and through. Bron is a facilitator, and now he's changing up his offense. I mean, he's just – Bron's the guy, and I think Zion's going to be right behind him.
I'm excited because the 8th seed right now in the West is either Memphis or New Orleans, most likely. And all respect to Ja and that very young team that's going to be very good in the future. But what we saw last night is the first-round matchup that everyone is dreaming about in the NBA. If you get Zion, LeBron first round in the West.
Let's go. I love Zion, man. I don't know if I should or not.
I didn't because I hate Duke, and I also hate front runners and stuff like that. But there's no way you could hate on him right now. I've completely flipped 180.
Did not understand when he chose to go to Duke, right? As a guy who was a fan of Zion on the internet, I'm like, going to Duke? Like, bro, you're going to the NBA in 1 year. Like, go to Miami or, like, Los Angeles or, like, do what the O.J. Mayo did.
Well, you could learn from Coach K, who's...
Well, that was the thought.
By the way, got beat last night again by an inferior team.
Well, he's a real team guy. Like, I think that is something that is not said enough about Zion and LeBron. Like, LeBron, I think, was the first real big, noted basketball name that was 100% okay being a facilitator. Like Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson was the freak who was also a facilitator, not just like a kill. Like, that is the thing that I love about LeBron, and that was the same thing that he gets bashed for. Like, oh, he's passing the ball too much. He doesn't want the ball in his hands. It's like, well, I think he views himself a little bit like a point guard. Magic Johnson, he's got great passes, good vision. Zion, same exact thing. Goes to Duke, buys into their system. Just like I said about the Pelicans, the first game Zion debuted is like, hey, Gentry, I thought, should have told Zion, like, hey, you can do no wrong tonight. This team runs through you. I thought Duke should have done that. Instead, college basketball is a little bit different, but the NBA's future is in good hands, especially with, me being a diehard Pelicans.
Exactly.
Hey, that bird's going to fly. That bird's going to soar right to the top of this damn thing. We got to get to a break. We got Mangold in 11 minutes. Can't wait to chat with him about all things happening in the world of football.
He loves talking football.
Absolutely loves it. There's like real football things happening that I'd like to talk to him about, but it's so difficult to get real opinions from the likes of him, AJ Hawk, Aaron Rodgers. Got to talk about the 17-game season, Nick. Has to happen.
Have to.
It's going to happen. By the way, we'll talk about this on the other side of the break. There's little things being released about what they agreed upon and what they didn't agree upon. One of the selling points is that the NFLPA has been promised that there will be no more games than 17 in the next 10 years. It was like they had 16 games for 50 years. You think...
Go to 18.
You think they're going to just jump to 18 in like 2 years?
No, especially when 17 was the sticking point, and getting paid for that 17th game was the sticking point.
Like, I respect you putting it in a contract. Like, yo, we're not going more than 17. But the sell by the NFL being like, listen, we won't go any more than 17. It's like, yeah, no, we know that. Like, yeah, we know that. They're like, well, we just want to make sure that we put that in there for you. It's like, we're very nice of you. Yeah. Every player on the roster getting an extra $100,000 is massive.
Huge, especially for the bottom half.
Oh, bottom 3 quarters.
Yeah.
A lot of money spent on that top quarter of an NFL team, and everything else is kind of just getting ciphered through. $100,000 to a special teamer, massive. That's why this vote's going to go through, by the way. Because the voice that's going to be heard is not the player rep, not the OG. It's going to be number 51 on the roster, who's the personal protector on a punt team in Minnesota.
Especially since I think they're adding 4 roster spots now, too, so that's 4 more guys getting that money.
Yeah. If you're listening to this show right now, by the way, I'm happy they're getting this done.
Yes.
It's good for everybody. Now, it'll unfold, just like we said, it'll unfold that the NFLPA lost this negotiation somehow. There'll be little details that get released that will come out and say, well, the NFLPA should have got this, they should have got that. But in every business negotiation, you got to scratch the other person's back for them to scratch yours. You're not going to get everything you want. You're going to have to give up some things for the benefit of everybody. And that's some stuff that happens. Funny thing about my back, whenever you scratch my back, I want you to look down right now if you're listening to this show. It's where my back's located. When was the last time you shaved your junk? It's been a while. Don't lie. Let's take a second to thank our sponsor, Manscaped, for holding you accountable to get rid of the funk and to shave your junk. Guys, our confidence comes from our pride and joy, and when you trim the bushes, the tree stands taller. Manscaped is forever changing the grooming game with their Perfect Package 3.0. This is their brand new package that includes the best electric trimmer there is, the Lawnmower 3.0. This third-generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to prevent manscaping accidents. Millions and millions. Not bad there. Of testes are about to be nick-free thanks to Manscaped's advanced skin-safe technology. And of course, let's not forget about the Crop Preserver, an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. You already put deodorant on your armpits. Why are you not putting deodorant on the smelliest part of your body? The Perfect Package 2.0 also includes anti-chafing performance boxer briefs that keep your package cool and smelling fresh all damn day. For on the go freshness, you'll love the Crop Reviver Ball Toner Spray. This is the perfect package for your perfect package. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code America at manscaped.com. Do yourself a favor and always use the right tools for the job and get 20% off and free shipping with code America at manscaped.com. 20% off free shipping at manscaped.com and use code America. Your partner and family jewels will thank you. We're back on the other side with some CBA talk. Love good business conversation with the world of sports. 1-833-622-3331. We want to hear from you. This is the Pat McAfee Show. Beautiful Wednesday, February 26th.
It's happening. People are freeing themselves from their wireless contracts. It's a movement towards something simple. Get truly unlimited data on a 5G-ready network for just $45 a month, with no contract, ever. Simple Mobile. Out with the old, in with the simple.
Pat McAfee Show. Here at 4 World Trade. 27 years ago today, the World Trade Center was attacked. T's and P's to all that were... Did people die? Did we lose people in that? I don't remember. 6 casualties? Is that right? We got...
Yes, I think that was correct. 6 casualties.
We got a very, very big-brained humans in the back here that are telling us. Rest in peace to those 6. World Trade Center bounced back after that. World Trade Center bounced back after September 11th. And we are currently in 4 World Trade right now, doing the show, which I heard almost did not get on the air today. So we're very thankful to be on the air. Big news coming out at about 1:41 a.m. this morning, which nothing good happens after midnight, they say in the NFL. That's like one of the big talking points in the NFL is nothing good comes after midnight. Nothing at all. If you're at 11:59 and the clock strikes midnight and you haven't been able to accomplish whatever you're trying to accomplish, get your ass home. Now, that's easier said than done. Coming from a guy that was arrested about 4:30 a.m. at one point. I was not up early that day. That was still from yesterday that I was up. So I did not adhere to that rule, but good things came at about 1:41 a.m. The player reps voted to pass the CBA proposal from the NFL. Now it'll go to all of the players to confirm or deny. There was one abstained vote, by the way. I would like to know who the one abstained vote was and what stand were they taking on. They were saying the one abstained vote. So that is somebody that vote yay, no, nay. And then somebody said, I'm not voting for either of it. And I want to know who that was. What player rep said, I'm not saying yes or no. I don't want to make a decision yet. Stop putting time on me, okay? I want a little bit more time to think about it. They're like, well, everybody else is ready to make a decision. He's like, well, I'm not. I'm not ready yet. And they just said, you know what? To hell with you, pal. This is bigger than you. And he goes, well, I'm not going to vote then. And they're like, cool, we'll announce that. I want to know who that was. I know it's not a punter or a kicker, by the way.
No.
It's not a punter or a kicker. I'm going to assume this is potentially a quarterback or a skill position.
I was thinking it might be a defensive back for a team that played it in the Super Bowl.
You think Richard Sherman decided not to vote? That's what you just said. You literally just said Richard Sherman decided not to.
Because it makes more of a story than him just saying no.
I don't think this is the executive committee voting, though.
Is he on both?
Oh, yeah, because he's a player rep and an executive member
think.
who's playing. But I can't wait to hear the name that comes out that didn't vote. But right now, they concurred to the proposal from the NFL.
Yeah.
To join us in talking about that, is he on the phone right now, Foxy?
Not yet.
This is unbelievable, this show. I was going to say Nick Mangold, NFL legend, all-pro, probably a Hall of Famer, a man that's about to have a bunch of barbecue sauces debut in about a couple weeks. I can't wait to talk to him about this new proposal. 17 games is in. Capped at 17 games.
Yes.
An extra 100. By the way, my nose is running right now.
Oh, no.
I know. I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy about what's happening to my nose right now.
You sneezed twice in the car, too.
I'm not happy
We
about
found
what's
out
happening right now.
way too much information.
Yeah, but it could have been in the hotel, too. I mean, anyways, let's get to a break. On the other side, we'll be joined by Nick Mangold to break down the entire NFL. I'm going to go get tested for a virus. I don't know if that's
We're being
possible.
quarantined in this room.
Because I'm sniffling?
Yeah. That's like if you go on a cruise ship right now. By the way, don't.
I would never. I hate cruises. Everybody hates cruises.
And if you have any sniffles, you hold that in and you do not tell anyone about it until you're off that
Bro,
cruise
I look
ship.
like the Iranian health minister right now. Did you see that guy up there?
I did.
He's like, this is not that big of a problem.
I heard
He
him.
was sweating, dripping in sweat.
He had it.
He's like, this isn't that big of a deal, guys. And he's like rubbing his nose.
Looks like Papa John.
Literally looked like Pop John's after that 30-day 30 pizza challenge, which, by the way, we heard was a bunch of BS. Never would have guessed that with John Schnatter. But that guy ended up having coronavirus the next day. I don't think I do. I just think there's potentially something in our hotel that we stayed in that was from 1921. I mean, who knows what's cooking in those walls?
Cardboard boxes we slept on.
But I'll never be sure. We're back on the other side with Nick Mangold to talk about the new CBA.
At Simple Mobile, you get the no contract advantage. Unlimited talk, text, and data now for $30 a month. Now on a 5G ready network with no activation fees ever. No confusion, no complexity, no frustration, and no contract. Ever, ever, ever. Now get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a month. And now 5G ready. It's our best deal ever. Buy yours now at nationwide retailers or at Simple Mobile dealers. Learn more at simplemobile.com. Simple Mobile. Out with the old, in with the simple.
Just one looking at you, open up my eyes, and I'll stay with you forever all the time. And I'm stepping out to leave it all behind. I'm confident your love will be my sight. Just one looking at you, open up my eyes, and I'll stay with you forever all the time. And I'm stepping out to leave it all behind. I'm confident your love will be my sight. Hold out your hand, yeah. Every day you're with me when I think I can't stand, yeah. You got big things coming, part of your plan, yeah. Step up in your love, I see you the one I want. The love that you were giving is salvation. You will keep me moving if I'm patient. I just wanna get right to the racing. You love me so I could be complacent. Not afraid of the battles I've been facing. Nothing that you do is ever wasted. And you got the fire like I'm blazing. Cause I'm just tryna copy when I'm facing. Just one looking at you, open up my eyes, and I'll stay with you forever all the time. And I'm stepping out to leave it all behind. I'm confident your love will be my sight. Just one looking at you, open up my eyes, and I'll stay with you forever all the time. And I'm stepping out to leave it all behind. I'm confident your love will be my sight. Big mountain, what do I say? Them can never love you my way. You go low, then you go high. You go near, then you go far. You go call around, 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 around. But you're falling down and down and down. You just wanna go the distance. Promise you I'm what you're missing. Promise you my life, promise you my time, promise you no lie. Yeah, yeah. Carry go, I'm on me more to carry load. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh da 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 da. Oh da 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 da. Just one looking at you, open up my eyes, and I'll stay with you forever all the time. And I'm stepping out to leave it all behind. I'm confident your love will be my sight. Just one looking at you, open up my eyes, and I'll stay with you forever all the time. And I'm stepping out to leave it all behind. I'm confident your love will be my sight. But sana sana nakupenda, roho yangu umeguza, Mungu nisho kama huyu ni mke wangu. Sana sana nakupenda, roho yangu umeguza, roho yangu umeguza. Yeah, yeah. Just one looking at you, open up my eyes, and I'll stay with you forever all the time. And I'm stepping out to leave it all behind. I'm confident your love will be my sight. Just one looking at you, open up my eyes, and I'll stay with you forever all the time. And I'm stepping out to leave it all behind. I'm confident your love will be my sight. Hold out your hand, yeah. Every day you're with me when I think I can't stand, yeah. You got big things coming, part of your plan, yeah. Step up in your love, I see you the one I want. The love that you were giving is salvation. You will keep me moving if I'm patient. I just wanna get right to the racing. You love me so I could be complacent. Not afraid of the battles I've been facing. Nothing that you do is ever wasted. And you got the fire like I'm blazing. Cause I'm just tryna copy when I'm facing. Just one looking at you, open up my eyes, and I'll stay with you forever all the time. And I'm stepping out to leave it all behind. I'm confident your love will be my sight. Just one looking at you, open up my eyes, and I'll stay with you forever all the time. And I'm stepping out to leave it all behind. I'm confident your love will be my sight. Big mountain, what do I say? Them can never love you my way. You go low, then you go high. You go near, then you go far. You go call around, 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 around. But you're falling down and down and down. You just wanna go the distance. Promise you I'm what you're missing. Promise you my life, promise you my time, promise you no lie. Yeah, yeah. Carry go, I'm on me more to carry load. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh da 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 da. Oh da 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 da. Just one looking at you, open up my eyes, and I'll stay with you forever all the time. And I'm stepping out to leave it all behind. I'm confident your love will be my sight. Just one looking at you, open up my eyes, and I'll stay with you forever all the time. And I'm stepping out to leave it all behind. I'm confident your love will be my sight.
Hey, oh, hey,
back to the Pat McAfee Show. Could be the last one. I got the sniffles there going into the last break. In the world we live in now, that could mean the end of it. So, if that's the case, our last guest is our next guest. And I would not choose any other man to do that. Not only is it one of the best beards of all time, not only is he one of the best centers in the history of football, legendary human being, barbecue sauce salesman, griller, meathead, hilarious, sophisticated gentleman. You can hear him on Barstool Breakfast Fridays for Gentlemen Fridays. You can follow him at Nick Mangold. Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Mangold.
Oh, God, that was beautiful. I need you to follow me around. My kids would appreciate me more.
I think I have the coronavirus right now. You don't want me anywhere near you or your kids right now, Nick.
Oh, you'll be fine. It's a fake disease.
That's not what I've heard. And to be honest, the more and more I learn about it, the more and more I try to get that Men in Black thing that just eliminates my memory so I don't learn about it. So let's talk about something other than that. Let's talk about something fun here. The NFL player reps voted to pass the proposed CBA to move it to a vote amongst all the players. My question for you is this. Did you see that there was a majority voted yes, minority voted no, and then there was one vote that was abstained. One person that was a player rep decided not to vote at all. How much do you respect that? How much do you hate that? And who, in what position do you think that potentially was?
I don't know who that was. I was shocked to see an abstained vote. I don't understand what that accomplishes.
No.
You're either for it or you're against it. But, the fact that it was so tightly contested, it's going to be interesting when it goes to a full membership vote. I think it passed 17-14.
Yep.
And then even I believe, if I read the article correctly this morning, the executive committee actually voted it down, but the team reps voted for it. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out.
The person in the room that chose not to vote is like, I need more time. And they're like, well, we don't have time for you. They released the announcement of the vote at 1:41 a.m., Nick. Does that mean they were on a conference call yesterday from 5 p.m. all the way to 1 a.m.? Like, what does that mean in your eyes?
Well, what it means is I guess the person that abstained probably fell asleep and they couldn't get it.
Well, I didn't get to vote because about 7 hours into the damn thing, I fell asleep.
I fell asleep. I woke up and they said it passed.
Wait a minute. Did my vote matter? You're an offensive lineman, and offensive linemen hand-to-hand combat every single day of your life, literally, and let alone the slaps to the head from defensive linemen and the physical toll it takes on. That one extra game, 17 games, has been a topic of conversation for everybody. For the NFL side and for the media side, it's more money, it's more football, it's everything that is potentially good in the world for football fans and the owners. For the players, though, it's always been like, yo, we are crawling to the finish line with 16 games, let alone if there was to be 17. As an offensive lineman, what would a 17th game really have done, not only in the long term of your career, but in a year-to-year basis? Would that change the way you train? Would that change the way you play? Or is it just something that you just have to hope that your body can sustain another week?
I think that's the biggest thing. I think it's that you have to hope that you can just sustain for another week. If you make it through 16 games in the first place, you've done that by, taking care of your body and having a little luck. So now it's the same thing. Adding one game, I don't think is going to change that too much. The biggest thing I get a kick out of, which angers me to no end, is the fact that everything in the league has been pushed for player safety. And that's their core number one, hey, we're doing this for player safety, and everything that goes on from equipment to scheduling to off season to training camp, the whole thing. And then they add another game. It just doesn't make any sense. And I don't understand how anyone can say, hey, this is, we're all for player safety, but hey, you now have to go out there and play another 60 minutes.
To the NFL's credit, they haven't pitched that NFL safety or this player safety move in a couple years. Once the Will Smith CTE movie kind of died off a little bit. The conversation pivoted from that to let's put the best product we could possibly put on the field to now just more games and more games. I mean, the player safety thing, we all knew that was hypocritical as soon as it was said because you got games on Thursday, you got games on Monday, you got games on Sunday, you got games in Europe, you got games in Canada, you got games in Mexico. I mean, that was a hypocritical statement that they did PR. We just have to automatically assume that they no longer are pitching for that. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I mean, they can't, and I think I blame the media and the NFL itself for being able to put that out there that they say they're all for player safety, and no one questioned them. No one said, "Wait, if you are, then why are you doing this, this, and this?" And at this point, it's now just kind of a oh well, that has come and gone, and there's nothing we can do about it.
Nick, that's because everybody's got their hands in a cookie jar, man. It's hard to get people, if they have their hands in a cookie jar, to want to take away some of the cookie jar. It's in politics, it's in college sports, it's in the NFL, because the media is making money off of it as well. Like, we're making money off of talking about the NFL. So coming out against the NFL is a tough thing to do. It's a wild time to be involved in professional sports, especially with all the money. Diggs has a question for you.
Nick, we asked your good buddy AJ Hawk when we were talking about the 17-game season if they would need to put a second bye week in, which Pat has always been a proponent of in this formula. He said he would not like a second bye week because he hated the bye week. So how do you feel? Do you feel that there should have been a second bye week in a 17-game season?
Well, that's because AJ is just one big meathead.
That's what I said too, by the way.
I think an extra bye week, I think if you were able to space it out, what's going to happen is even if they were to put it in, there's going to be a team that's going to get the bye week on week 4 and then get their second bye week in week 6, and it's not going to make any difference. Anybody who gets a bye in the beginning of the season is cursing. As soon as the schedule comes out and you see you got a week 5 bye, you'd realize that the second half of your season is the majority of your season, and you're cursing all the way through training camp.
It was reported today in the media that you're speaking of. It was reported today that every human on the roster will get an extra $100,000. The bottom 3/4 of NFL rosters are filled with guys that would love an extra $100,000. Now, granted, the top quarter, everybody would love an extra $100,000, but that extra $100,000 to a lot of players in the NFL is massive. They don't know how long their careers are going to be. They haven't got broken off in that contract. Do you think that was something that was added in there by the NFL to say, hey, we'll be able to get the players to vote this through if we guarantee an extra $100,000 to the bottom half of the roster, we're going to need that to get a majority vote to get this thing passed?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, every politician is giving away something free to get a vote. It's the same thing. If you dangle $100,000, which is a massive amount of money, not only for the bottom half of the rosters, but for anybody. I mean, if I could pick up $100,000 right now, that'd be awesome.
It would be awesome.
I know. And it would be great. Like, of course, like, how do you not vote for that? The tough part is, when you do have influxes of money, if they don't have a program in place to help these guys understand it, who've gone through bottom of the roster and been living at league minimum, and then all of a sudden you get an extra $100,000, you'd rather put it in the bank instead of going out and getting a new car. So hopefully, if it does get passed, the guys are smart about it.
Nah, I would have bought a wrestling ring as soon as I got it. Hey, speaking of an extra $100,000. In a couple of weeks, you're launching new line of barbecue sauces at 74barbecue.com. 70 spelled out, 4 spelled out, bbq.com. A brand new line of barbecue sauce that Nick Mangold's putting out there. What are we getting from that? And are we making $1 billion off of how damn good it is?
Yes, we are taking this straight past the moon, and we are going to Mars. It is going to be fantastic. It is my home recipe that I came up with, and I wanted – after football was over and I had kind of what do I do with myself now? And I realized that I've never actually created anything other than my children. So I said, what if we took the opportunity, took something that I'm passionate about, which is barbecue and sauce, packaged it all together and sold it to get it to as many people as possible, because I think it's the best barbecue sauce out there. Right now we're starting out with 2 flavors. There's the OG and then the spicy OG. And with the hope that we'll get to 4 flavors as our mainstay, because I have 4 children. So each one will coincide with one of my kids. So the original is my firstborn, my son. He's the OG. My second son is the firecracker, the spicy one, so he's the spicy. And then I got 2 daughters, so we'll have a sweet barbecue and a honey barbecue hopefully coming out shortly if all things go as planned.
That's awesome. I can't wait to buy at least 1,000 bottles of each and give them away on this show and other social medias. Is this a passion project for you then? Because a lot of guys, whenever they leave the game, this is a noted issue. Not only is there financial problems for a lot of guys because you're not taught what to do with money whenever you're handed 6 figures, 7 figures worth of cash, and everything you've ever envisioned getting in your life automatically becomes available for you. I mean, that's just a whole different ball game. It's hard to save your money whenever those things are available. Even when people are telling you like you should save your money, it's like, well, that Escalade right there is also very, very affordable. And all of a sudden, it's hard to do. But for you, whenever guys leave the game, they almost feel like they lose fulfillment in life, right? They're no longer, their purpose is no longer needed. They were a warrior for so long, judged strictly off what they did on a football field, and a lot of guys have problems finding fulfillment or purpose off of that. I'm not saying that ever happened for you because you're an incredibly hilarious person, well-liked person, you do a lot of great things and all that stuff. But at any point in your life where you're like, you know what, I have to put my focus into something because I'm feeling as if my worth was judged strictly off of football for a long time. I want to be judged off something else. And is that what this barbecue sauce has become?
No, my kids put me in my place very quickly. That I have no worth whatsoever, even when I was playing. So this is more, for me, this is a passion project of, this is something I enjoy. This is something that I'm passionate about. I really love barbecue. I've fallen in love with it over the past, I'd say, 8 years now. To give an opportunity to have something to be able to share it with other people. Like I always love, doing pulled pork and sending it to somebody's house with a side of the sauce and, hey, let me know what you think. And the other side of it too is the charity component. So we're teaming up with Answer the Call, and we'll hopefully be able to donate some of the proceeds to help out the New York City families that have lost someone in the line of duty. So
Awesome.
It's a great cause. It's something I'm passionate about, and so it all kind of works together.
Speaking of passion products, did you know that when he was on the show, when you were on vacation, that we broke news?
No, what was it?
That if Rex Ryan asked Nick to be his offensive line coach, he would drop everything immediately and become an offensive line coach.
I've asked Rex Ryan to get back into coaching bad. Like, I'm like, yo, Rex, I love you on television, but the NFL needs you back in there. And his answer is always like, well, they're not going to pay me enough, or they're going to make me a defensive coordinator. I want to be a head coach. I think he's a guy who has been kind of slighted in the judgment with the amount of success that he had as a head coach and really never getting another opportunity at this thing.
Yeah, and there was breaking news. So that's 2 breaking news things that we have on the show, the barbecue sauce and me coaching for Rex Ryan.
Hey, good for us. And we're winning awards, too.
Winning awards, award-winning shows. And no, I think he would be great if he got another opportunity. But at the same time, and having not talked to him about it directly recently, I think he's having too much fun doing TV.
I think so, too.
And I think that's where he's enjoying. He's getting paid money to be, the jokester, and he doesn't have to wake up at 5 a.m. every morning and go deal with 53 knuckleheads at a team meeting.
Well, plus 4 more on the roster now because, the new CBA and an extra week in a shortened offseason. I mean,
hey, less practices. I think there's like 12 less practices.
Yeah, but it's going to become tough to coach. I think it's going to become tough to coach in NFL and manage, especially with less practicing, because especially in the offensive line position, there's not a lot of great college offensive linemen with the way football is going. I think that could be a big problem in the NFL, especially with less practice and everything.
I think it's a big problem already. I think you're seeing what's going on with NFL offenses, the way that it takes a while to get going at the beginning of the season. The college programs are churning out guys that aren't ready, and the NFL programs don't have time to get guys ready. So it's creating a softened offensive line where you just don't have time to get the practice in that it requires. I mean, you can't just say, hey, go run fast and catch ball. You got to be able to go through the techniques and really dive down deep. And without time, without practice, that just doesn't happen.
Moving humans takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
I mean, and you're protecting a couple $100 million asset right behind you. I mean, that is a real That is a real thing that is going to be talked about in the NFL over the next couple of years. Already been talked about. Last thing before we let you go, and we're so thankful you joined. Nick, I love talking to you, man. Your brain is such a good one. I'm happy CTE hasn't just completely ruined you.
Not yet. My wife hates when I joke. I'll remember something from 10 years ago, and well, not today, CTE, not today.
All right, we got like a minute and a half left. Did you watch that Deontay Wilder fight against Tyson Fury? Two things. Did you hear Deontay Wilder said it was because his 45-pound costume is why he lost? And are you mad, just like me, that you didn't know enough about Tyson Fury before this fight?
I will agree with you on the second point. I wish I knew more about Tyson Fury beforehand because he seems hilarious. And
electric.
Catching some of the interviews before the fight made me a big fan of his, just the way that he talks.
Yeah.
I did not watch the fight as I was fast asleep at that point. But getting caught up on it, and anyone who said that 45-pound costume was a good idea, not for the legs or for anything else other than just looking ridiculous, should be fired.
All right, Nick, we appreciate you.
I carry an extra 45 pounds around every single day, and my legs are doing just fine.
I've been carrying an extra 35 for the last, 3 weeks after this whole thing. But I guess we're not boxers. We're not in the cardio game.
Yeah.
But, ladies and gentlemen, 74bbq.com in a couple weeks, the OG and the spicy OG will debut and change taste buds for the rest of time. Ladies and gentlemen, all-pro legend, Nick Mangold. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys.
Hey, cheers, man. Stay away from the coronavirus. All right. So we got about an hour left, or a minute left in this thing before we get to the second hour. What did we not cover that we should have covered? We talked about CBA, talked about Zion and LeBron, which I assume is everybody else's chatter. We just talked about Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder.
There may be, Tua.
Oh, we'll talk about Tua in the second hour for sure. All signs are pointing to Tua being ready to go March 9th and ready to work out and that whole thing, which is mind-boggling to me how advanced technology and medicine has been that they can get this guy back that quickly.
The PI review, and then a very big-name player just tweeted out that he's going to vote no.
Who?
Russell Wilson.
Russ?
Yeah.
With that hair?
Yeah.
And that workout regimen? In the potential MVP last year?
Tweety's going to vote no.
For any reasoning?
Yes.
We'll talk about that in the second hour. We're back on the other side. This is a great show. This is the Pat McAfee Show.
One by one, it's happening. People are freeing themselves from the hassle and frustration of their wireless contracts. It's a movement towards something simple. Simple Mobile. Truly unlimited, high-speed talk, text, and data on a 5G-ready network. And no contract. Ever. Get truly unlimited data on a 5G-ready network for just $45 a month. Simple Mobile. Out with the old, in with the simple.
It's the perfect occasion for a little vacation from the heart of the nation. Not your medication, 2 hours of magic. Let's give it a go. Ladies and gents, it's the Pat McAfee Show. It's the Pat McAfee Show. It's the Pat McAfee Show.
You're damn right it is, Chase Rice. It is a beautiful Wednesday, February 26th, and we are coming to you live from 4 World Trade in gloomy, doomy, cloudy, rowdy New York City. Joining me is at Tone Diggs. Normally it would be Ty Schmidt, but Ty told a story about him having a dream last week where he was on a plane and the plane crashed and everybody died on said plane. So, ipso facto, I will not get on a plane ever again with Ty Schmidt. I assume Ty and I will work together for a long time. I hope so, because we love what Ty brings. We love Ty's brain. I love his work ethic. Everything about Ty Schmidt is awesome, except for said dream that he had that he said aloud to everybody he's potentially going to be on planes with, and I'm not 100% sure I could ever travel with him again. So instead, insert Tone Diggs, host of Good Better Bets and The Pod from PMI.
Who keeps my Final Destination dreams to myself?
Exactly. Don't tell me. I don't want to hear. Actually, Ty was a noble man by telling me.
He was.
He was a very noble person by saying that aloud.
Like me.
But I believe in things like that. Like if I have a dream, I'll be like John Candy in Home Alone, where I think it's the second one or third one where they got a polka band.
Yeah, first one.
That travels in the back of a truck or a bus or whatever it is. That's what I will become if I ever have that dream. So I appreciate that Ty is able to get on planes after having said dream, but I will not get on a plane with him, so Diggs is joining me in the back, calling the shots. Evan Foxy's bossing around a lot of people that are much more experienced than he is, which I appreciate and respect. And Zito is running the phones, which I've been told are working at this point.
Yes, they are.
There, boy, Zito. if you tried to call in the first hour, 1-833-622-3331, they might not have worked, and we are apologizing for that currently. It's not really our fault. It's actually somebody else's that decided not to show up for work, really. But it's 1-833-622-3331. Can't wait to talk to you about your questions, your statements, your opinions, and your thoughts. 27 years ago today, our thoughts, our prayers are with the 6 victims that passed away in the first round of World Trade Center bombings. We are coming to you live from 4 World Trade, so it hits a little bit different while we're sitting here. But that was 27 years ago today. Just a fact for you. Another fact. Last night, Zion and LeBron played against each other, and the world stopped for 2.5 hours. In Los Angeles, in the Staples Center, which this week hosted the celebration of life for Kobe Bryant, which was awesome to watch.
Yeah, it was.
Terrible, terrible, terrible situation. Awesome celebration of life for the 9 humans that passed away, Kobe and Gianna obviously being a part of that. But in that same building, one of the biggest games that was being hyped up in this early NBA season, I mean, granted, we're after All-Star break, was Zion and LeBron being on the same floor against each other. These two forces of nature, okay? These two faces of basketball. LeBron, the man that was selling out arenas in high school, the man that had a Hummer by his junior year, the man that was on the cover of Sports Illustrated and had a Nike deal before he even got out of high school, the man who went straight to the NBA and has done nothing but do everything that everybody's talked about. No massive PR scandals. Never really treated anybody poorly. I mean, granted, there's probably some story somewhere about him doing something, but in a day and age where everything LeBron James has done has been an official. The decision, obviously, poor decision. The decision turned out to be a bad one. Him trying to patent Taco Tuesday, everything. I mean, there's a lot of potential poor, but in the grand scheme of things, no arrests, no massive affairs against his wife, which in the NBA, I could assume if you're 19 years old traveling around the world and you're the biggest superstar on earth, there could be a lot of potential temptation. LeBron has lived up to the hype and then some. Yeah. Everything they said LeBron James is going to be, he has done. He's a champion, went to 7 straight finals or 8 straight finals or something like that. He's become the leader of the NBA. He's become a big brother to almost everybody in the association. He is handled being a superstar almost to perfection.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple things we obviously don't agree with. The decision
no one's perfect.
No one's perfect. But in a position that LeBron James was placed in at the age of 16, I think he has displayed himself and portrayed himself and done an incredible job of handling all the pressure that comes with it. I would assume that Zion has watched LeBron throughout his entire life and said, okay, that's a guy that has done it the right way. Zion obviously grows up in a different era, the social media era, the internet era, the sharing era. The highlights get seen by millions and millions of people. Even if you're in a tiny town in Carolina and you're dunking on white people, that video is going to get viewed by a lot of people everywhere. Zion has been famous for a long time. Zion was famous long before he got to Duke. Zion has been known and revered and loved by a lot of humans for a long time. And when he went to Duke, it was a decision that nobody understood because nobody expected him to do so. Mm-hmm. But he's a team guy, friendly guy, happy guy, high work ethic guy. And when he and LeBron step on the court against each other, it's like, okay, here's the present greatness of the NBA, which is LeBron James, and the future face of the NBA, Zion, taking each other on. And what I learned about Zion last night is that Zion is very much at the point already where he's not scared of anybody.
No.
Anthony Davis, he and Anthony Davis were battling underneath. Zion defensively is almost as good as Zion offensively, which is something that I don't think anybody could have predicted. I think a lot of people thought he was too small. I think a lot of people thought he wasn't going to be able to do it in the NBA. He's been able to handle himself on the defensive side of the ball. He hasn't been a liability at all on the defensive side of the ball. And on the offensive side of the ball, he's banging underneath. He's hitting shots. The oops are spectacular. And I think he is living up to all the hype that has already been made about Zion. Now, granted, what that does is that brings out the best in the OGs, which is LeBron James. Just like Jay Williams said about Kobe Bryant whenever he went into the LA Lakers Coliseum or Staples Center, whatever it was at the time, and he was going to get a shoot-around before his first game in LA, and he saw on the other side of the court was Kobe Bryant. And Kobe Bryant went through the hardest workout he's ever seen somebody do all by himself in that shoot-around, and then that night he went on to drop 30-something on Jay Williams. Jay Williams asked him after the game. He said, hey, man, what was that your shoot-around? Was that normal? What was that all about? And Kobe told him, well, I saw you in there, and I want to let you know this is how it goes. I feel like last night LeBron was letting Zion know that in year 17, this is how I go. Yamming on people, just absolutely yakking on that dude after Mr. Caruso goes between the legs, hitting step backs, being aggressive underneath, playing harder, I think, than most people would assume for a midseason game against a team below 500. Now, the Lakers are 28-2 now against teams below 500. They do not stoop to their competition, which is what LeBron does, by the way. A good leader can help you do that.
Correct.
But last night was a different LeBron James. It was playoff LeBron James. It was late season LeBron James. And it was awesome to watch. And just like you said in the first hour, massive compliment to Zion. And I'm very happy, especially in the world that we're in right now. The current state of the world. The current state of the world, which is a state of emergency. Last night in Los Angeles on TNT, we got to watch a hell of a show by two incredible athletes. Zion dropped 29. Bron dropped 40. Brandon Ingram is 22 years old, dropped 35. It was a great basketball game from beginning to end. Now, beginning, they're up 13 or whatever. But by the end, it was a great basketball game. And the two highlights of the game going in put on a show. And that's what I'm here for. Good for the association.
Yeah, and last night it was awesome because I was watching the present in Anthony Davis and LeBron versus the future in Brandon Ingram and Zion.
Hey, let's not sell Zoe short. Let's not sell Lonzo Ball short, okay? He's only 20 years old or something like that.
Yeah, he's
21.
Young. His shot's improved. He's getting better. So he's getting better. He got away from his dad, and he's gotten better. But Zion's been preparing for this just like LeBron was preparing for it forever. He was on Sports Illustrated cover when he was very, very young. Zion's mom told him to watch 3 players. It came out the other day when he was growing up: Magic, Larry Bird, and then Michael Jordan, but to watch full games of Michael Jordan. Don't just watch highlights. Watch how he played the full game. So he has been preparing to be a great like those guys for his entire life. Since I assume he knew at 10 years old he was going to be great.
I think his first
Duncan
dunk
at
was
8.
potentially at 11. Yeah, I feel like I've been watching him on the internet for 20 years.
And then Zion you're right, going up against Anthony Davis, who is probably 4 or 5 inches taller than him last night, and holding his ground because he has that body for that type, and he's so explosive that he could get up and contend shots. I mean, Zion's great, and then offense where they just run and run and run, and he is great on the break. He's a great finisher. I love that, and like I said in the first hour, this is the dream matchup in the first round for the NBA and in the Western Conference.
Which, by the way, the Pelicans are on a playoff push right now. They are on a playoff push, trying to get
3 games back from Memphis, and Memphis just lost one of their young players for a few weeks. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to see Ja and Zion trying to get that ace spot to go against LeBron and AD.
and also win Rookie of the Year.
Yes.
Whoever gets the 8th.
Do you have an opinion? Do you think playing less than half the season?
No.
I mean,
I think it's almost more impressive. I think it's almost more impressive that he didn't have the chance to play the first half of the season and get like the kind of the jitters out, and he's just been kind of dropped into midseason play, and now they're on a playoff push. They were a bad team before he got. Not granted, a lot of promise. They'd won like 14 or 15 games, whatever it was, before he got in there. But now that he's got in there, there's a different energy to the team. He's like it was literally like Tannehill. It was like when Tannehill was dropped into the Titans. That's what Zion has been for the Pelicans. And he's a rookie who never played in the NBA. Probably had a little self-doubt. Hey, I can play great in college. I can play great in high school. Why be able to do this in the NBA? He's dropped in right in the middle of the season. Now they're on a playoff push, and he's one of the biggest superstars on the planet already.
Here's the thing with LeBron and Zion, too. When LeBron's off the court, they go from the Lakers to basically the Golden State Warriors as far as plus-minus is concerned. And the same thing happens when Zion comes off the court for the Pelicans, too. They are so important to their team.
Hey, good for the Pelicans, too, by the way. The Pelicans only got bad PR before this.
Yes.
Anthony Davis wants to leave.
The mascot.
They're naming themselves the Pelicans. I mean, there was a lot of problems for the New Orleans Pelicans. You get Zion Williamson in there, good kid, great basketball player. I mean, that is good for them.
I like when you said in the first hour, too, that the trade that was made for Anthony Davis and then sending Brandon Ingram and Zoe over there, it worked out for both of them. It's good to see. And then also, having Ja Morant and Zion, the top 2 picks in the NBA, you could tell that they're going to be great. Also, the NBA is in a very, very good spot.
Very good spot. Speaking of the NBA, Russell Wilson said the NBA is doing it right. And the MLB, who he plays for the New York Yankees.
Noted great Yankee. One of the greatest Yankees probably ever to play.
They win a World Series this year. Russell Wilson will get a World Series ring.
Should probably get 2 of them.
I think so, too. Because he's playing 2 sports, just like Dion and Bo. Russell Wilson.
He'd probably hit 500 if he played for the Yankees all
But he
year
can't
round.
because he's busy doing other things, but he plays in spring training. You know, he does all. Noted Yankees fan Ty Schmidt says his favorite quarterback is Russell Wilson because Russell Wilson plays for the New York Yankees, which is the team that he grew up loving.
Also his favorite baseball player.
Russell Wilson is Ty Schmidt's favorite baseball player. He has said that on numerous occasions off air. Right?
He has a picture of him on his desk.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. He has a picture of Russell Wilson on his desk. He said, hey, this guy, great quarterback, love football, but I'm a baseball guy at heart. I'm a Yankee guy at heart. This guy also plays for the Yankee. Extends his time to go teach the younger Yankees about leadership, about how to handle yourself in the moment. That type of stuff, when you bring Russell Wilson into the dugout, that is what happens. Russell Wilson spoke out about the new CBA saying he will vote no. We will get to that on the other side of the break, which we have to get to right now. We will also hit some phone calls. 1-833-622-3331. Look around you, Diggs. I mean, I guess not in this particular studio, but it's a wireless world. What happened there? You guys just turn off my microphones over there? I respect it. I mean, I got to read it that.
It
Jim
seems
went
like
to
we're on break.
We'll be back.
Simple Mobile, you get the no contract advantage. Unlimited talk, text, and data now for $30 a month. Now on a 5G ready network with no activation fees and no contract ever. That's our best deal ever. Simple Mobile, out with the old, in with the simple.
Look around you, Diggs. It's a wireless world, except for in the studio. We have wires, but everywhere else, there are no wires.
I don't see any outside.
It's a wireless world, and everyone can't see anything out there. A lot of clouds. Everyone needs a great pair of wireless earbuds, and you already know Raycon earbuds start at about half the price of any other premium wireless earbud on the market. And that sounds great, but what's going to sound even better is the sound of the Raycon wireless earbud is just as amazing as the other top audio brands that are charging double the price. Raycon's latest model, the E25, is their best one yet. 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and a more compact design that gives you a nice, noise-isolating fit. Raycon's wireless earbuds are so comfortable, they're perfect for on-the-go listening and for taking phone calls. Unlike some of your other wireless options, Raycon earbuds are both stylish and discreet with no stupid dangling wires or stems. You've heard us talk about how the company was co-founded by Ray J, and celebrities like Snoop D-O-double-G, Cardi B, Brandy, J.R. Smith are obsessed with Raycons. Now's the time to see what the hype is all about. Get 15% off your order at buyraycon.com/Pat. That's buyraycon.com/Pat for 15% off Raycon wireless earbuds. Buyraycon.com/Pat. Our guy Don, that's normally on the other side from Westwood One, is out today. Unbeknownst to me, we got a guy named Jim in there. It's probably going to be Jim's last day working with us, if I had to guess. But I appreciate him for what he's been doing. Before we went to break there, we talked about how Ty Schmidt's favorite baseball player, Russell Wilson, came out with a very public tweet saying that he will vote hard no on the new CBA. Ty Schmidt said he would like to expand on his love for Russell Wilson before we dive into Russell Wilson's tweet. Ty, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
So what did we say that really made you want to go and say, you know what, I would like to add on to what they said. I would like to double, triple down on what they said about my love for Russell Wilson.
Well, no, I was just going to say that I personally think Russell Wilson playing for the Yankees is worse than the Astros scandal in terms of the magnitude of what it's doing to the game. I mean, you know, I wasn't expecting that. I'm in here watching the show, enjoying it. It's been a great show so far this morning. It's like being in the bunker in WW2 and one of your buddies throws a grenade into your foxhole when you're not expecting it.
Well, so we got that wrong, is what you're saying?
Yeah, you were definitely wrong.
Okay.
Russell Wilson, you know, keep him out of Yankee Stadium. Keep him out of the complex at spring training. Focus on football, pal.
Ty, how do you feel about him focusing on football with this particular tweet and saying it's a hard no from him? He's going to be a leader, and that the NBA and the MLB have got it right, but we should not rush to any answers whenever it's the next 10 years of our lives.
Well, I mean, if it's Russell Wilson, I'm guessing that in the end he's only really thinking about himself. He knows, you know, there's more money to be made for him here. So, yeah, I mean, that sounds like something on par with what he would do.
Don't you? I think personally that he should not be allowed to tweet that. It should be like when you vote for a politician. You go into your booth, you close the curtain, and you make your vote. And you don't tell anybody about what your vote is. We don't need Russ Wilson swaying the rest of the league.
Thank you, Ty. Sorry for getting that completely misunderstood. That's on us. I thought I always heard you off mic saying how much you love Russell Wilson. Apparently, I was wrong there. That's on me. He will get a ring, by the way, if the Yankees win a World Series. I just want to let you know that.
That will be the day I switch my fanhood.
Oh, all right, Ty. Ty Schmidt, Iowa, Hawkeye, baseball fan, diehard Yankee fan. Normally with us, but he told me right to my face he had a dream he was on a plane and everybody on the plane died after it crashed. And I said, all right, sounds good, Ty. We'll never, ever be on a plane again. What he was talking about, I think we can hang up on him, right? Yep, there we go. The thing he was talking about was Russell Wilson's tweet that reads as follows. J.J. Watt has already come out and said it's a hard no for him on the new CBA. That's all he said is he said no for me in a tweet. Russell Wilson has compounded that since the NFLPA reps voted 17-14 to 1 abstaining vote to pass the CBA proposal and move it to a full league vote, which is very interesting. So the executive committee did not want this proposed CBA to be moved past the player reps, to be moved to the players to do a full vote. The NFL player rep said, nah, we're good. 17 yes, 14 no. One abstain vote, which is hilarious to think about, that person either just fell asleep and wasn't there for the vote, like Nick Mangold said, or they literally said, I need more time, and the rest of the crew was like, we ain't got more time. We're voting yes, we're voting no. If it matters, we'll ask for you to vote if not. So it's very interesting how it all is laid out. And the reason why it's important when Russell Wilson and other notable NFL players tweet things like this, it is big because other players are now going to have to vote on this.
Russell Wilson said, or tweeted, the @NBA and @MLB are doing it right. Players come first. All NFL players deserve the same. Capital letter, we should not rush the next 10 years of our today's satisfaction. I vote no.
Okay, so the reason why it's a lot different than voting for your politics, right? The reason why it's a lot different than what you were stating
Big politics.
is because the people who've been around the NFL the longest, right, which Russell Wilson is now a veteran in this game, right? Russell Wilson was a guy that was not drafted high, did not make a lot of money on his first contract. He didn't get broken off until very recently, right? Russell Wilson is a guy who's seen what it's like to be paid as an average player. He's seen what it's like to be paid as a grotesquely rich person, He's been up for MVP. He's been the face of the NFL for a little bit. He's been there, done that. If you're a younger player and you see J.J. Watt saying no and you see Russell Wilson saying no, you have to think to yourself, okay, why are these guys who've been around saying no? Now, is it specifically, strictly because it's not going to help them? Or is it 100% because they don't think this is a good deal for everybody? Now, what we do know about the new CBA proposal, the way the NFL is spinning this, at least in their PR campaign, is it's a 17-game regular season, capped at that for the next 10 years. There are more roster spots, 4 of them to be exact. There's a shortened preseason, I think only to 2 games, maybe to 3 games, which is good. There is a higher percentage of revenue for the players. It'll go from 47% to 48%. When it goes to a 17-game season, it'll go to 48.5%. That 1.5% jump is a $5 billion revenue jump in the next 10 years, which is a massive amount of money. And there's upgraded pension for former players, which, hey, I've heard not only upgraded pension, but also free health care for me. I get a chance to go to hospitals and get checkups and physicals for free and everything like that. All those things sound...
Also the $100,000.
$100,000 to every player on the roster, which is massive for the bottom half of the roster, bottom 3/4 of the roster. I mean, these are all things that are awesome in the new CBA. We have not read the entire CBA. We have no idea what else is being said in there, but there's a lot of players saying absolutely not. The $250,000 cap on the 17th game salary has been ruled out. I think that was the reason why some of the big-name players were like, I'm not doing that. We're already taking pay cuts in the playoffs. We're not going to do it for another regular season game. So I think they're just going to match people's salary for that 17th game, by the way, which is smart. That's a good move. That's the right move business-wise. It's the right move morally. Now, what we don't know is why the players are so against everything. The reason why it could be the 17th game is going to be very hard. I mean, the body's already taken enough a toll. Player safety is already something that's a hypocritical statement by the NFL whenever you're playing on Thursday, playing on Sunday, playing on Monday, playing on Saturday in the playoffs, playing in Europe, Canada, Mexico with short weeks. I mean, player safety was something that came out during the CTE PR scandal, and then it's kind of faded away, but it's still something the NFL has to think about. So the 17th game is obviously something they want to talk about. Then the percentage split. Everybody says it should be 50-50. Players do a lot of the work. The owners are obviously the business people behind this. Should be a 50-50 split. That's never going to happen. Ever going to happen with the NFL owners because they have to have a little bit of the power. Anytime you negotiate with somebody and you give up more, you give up half the thing, then you're admitting that they are half the importance. The NFL is not going to do that because the NFL thinks the Shield and the league are the most important part of the NFL having success, right? They believe that. That's how it is. Might be ignorant, but they live in their own bubble. They think nothing else exists other than the NFL. So 48 to 48.5%. Adam Schefter tweeted out this morning that would be the highest percentage of all the 4 major sports or something along those lines. He was tweeting out very positive things from all this, from the NFL side, because I think he was getting all the positive information from the NFL. Right. NFLPA has been very tight-lipped on what they don't like about it, other than saying, well, the 17-game season is going to be tough. Other than saying we're voting hard no. We haven't heard a lot of explanation from the NFLPA side on why they hate the deal so much. All we hear are from the people who get incredible information. Very hard to get information. Getting this information saying, okay, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this. And in the PR war, the NFL players have already lost it. But it seems like in that player rep room, right, the people that aren't J.J. Watt, the people that aren't Russell Wilson, the people that aren't Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman, great businessman, bet on himself, made a lot of money. Russell Wilson, great businessman, bet on himself, made a lot of money. J.J. Watt, bet on himself, made a lot of money. These guys who are at the bottom half of the roster that sometimes player reps are kickers, punters, things along these lines, special teamers, guys that have good business minds, those are the player reps. Sometimes teams don't want to be. Sometimes the smartest people don't want to be player reps because a lot of that deals with a lot of BS. So you got a 17 player reps saying yes, 14 saying no, 1 abstaining. That passes to the players' vote now. And with the $100,000 to every single position on the roster, you got a lot of guys going like, I'll get an extra $100,000 for this a year? Yes. Yes. I think this is going to pass. I honestly think it's going to pass once it gets to the players, strictly because of that. And Russell Wilson and J.J. Watt can continue to almost like campaign against it, which is what they're doing. That's why they're publicly stating this. But I think this is going to be something that's going to get people to pass. And we don't know why it isn't a great deal. We don't know why it isn't a great deal. Right? $100 million for every single team. You start doing the math, it's only like $70,000 per player. So the big number can kind of be alarming. It's like whenever agents work players' contracts. This guy just signed for $100 million. It's like, well, $65 million of it is in incentives that he's never going to get. It's actually a $35 million deal. But the $100 million is like, oh my God, that's an alarming number. The $5 billion number for the 1.5% from 47 to 48.5 is an alarming number. It was like, oh damn, they got to do this. But then once you start breaking it down, it's like, well, it's only like $70,000 per player. I think blah 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 blah. You move forward, and that's probably what the players are mad about. But every time they tweet that this is a hard no, it's a no. I think you keep turning the PR against you, and that's not something that's smart for the NFLPA.
Maybe a dumb question.
Yeah, buddy.
So when players like Russell Wilson and J.J. Watt tweet out that they do not like this CBA, do you think the bottom half of the roster's guys, like those tweets carry weight for them? Or they look at it and like, hey, these guys have already made their money. They can afford, if we get locked out, to live. So does it go, hey, we respect what they're saying? Or, hey, these guys have already made their money and they don't care about... I'm sure, not saying they don't care about the bottom half of the roster, but
no, I think it's situational. I think everything's situational. I think there's some players that'll be like exactly what you said, like, oh, those rich guys are telling us what not to do. I'm just trying to survive. I got 3 kids. Right? There's some people that are like that. And then just like LeBron James is in the NBA, how he's a guy who, when he speaks, people listen. J.J. Watt is probably a guy in the NFL that when he speaks, people are like listening, kind of peek your head like, oh, why is he not like it? I'm not sure about Russell Wilson outside of the Seattle Seahawks locker room. I'm not sure if the rest of the NFL listens Russell Wilson speaking, goes like, oh, we should listen to that. You know what I mean? Richard Sherman, definitely a guy, whenever he speaks, people go, oh, we should listen about that. It depends on where you're at credibility-wise amongst other locker rooms, but I'm not 100% sure you can paint a broad brush and be like, oh, everybody's saying, okay, that matters, and everybody's like, oh, those are just rich guys. And that's why I think the NFL knows that if it gets to a full player vote, they know that 50th guy on the roster who's maybe only playing 3 games a year, who's making, I don't know, $100,000 a year, $150,000 a year, that money's supposed to last him for the next 40, 50 years of his life. They know that extra $100,000 is going to be an incentive for them to vote yes, even if all the other stuff that is like eye-opening is a no. That's why this is a great business move by the NFL to add that.
Also, I believe I saw in there when I've been reading about this that the practice squad guys' salary is also going up. Like the weekly salary that if you get when you're on the practice squad, that is also going up. Are those guys?
That's such a small number.
Are they in the NFLPA though? If they like, if you're on the practice squad, are you part of the players that vote?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Unless you were a player and came back down. I don't know. That's a great question. That's only like 10 guys, though, per team. 32 teams, 320 people.
320 votes?
It's 320 votes. Extra $100,000? I will take that. I'm not 100% sure if they all get votes, though. Yeah. I don't think they do. Because remember, the last 2 years of my career, I did not sign up for the NFLPA. I did not sign in. I might not even get... because I didn't, I might not even get access to these things that people...
You're going to be all right.
Yeah, I'll be okay. But if I remember back, the practice squad members were not in those meetings, if I do recall. It's like, you got to make the roster to do it. Which, by the way, the NFL is saying, oh, we'll give the practice squad people more money. If you're already on a team, then you're back on a practice squad. Bang, that's a vote yes. They're doing things in this CBA to ensure the fact that they get people to vote yes. They're like, all right, we'll drop this in there, we'll drop this in there, we'll drop this in there. That's just good business. That's Bernie Sanders saying on day 1 of being president, I'm going to legalize marijuana for all 50 states. That's everybody saying, oh, we're going to give free this, free this, free this. It's just getting votes, trying to win over votes. The NFL is doing that as well. They know this is the same world.
I think it's going to pass.
I think so, too. The $100,000 for every player is going to pass. That's why I think it took the NFLPA in the reps a long time. This thing didn't pass till 1:41 a.m. That was when the tweet was announced that it was past 17:14. I think there was a lot of conversation between the people that were saying no because they knew if it got to the entire players, this was going to pass. And they're like, well, we gave it our best fight.
Yeah, so what happened was that the meeting started at 5 o'clock yesterday, and there was 4 hours of meetings between the players' reps and the members of the NFL's negotiating committee. And then the 32-team reps spent several more hours discussing the deal. Then they gave the nod for the vote. So that's why it was all night long.
The 14 no's were fighting very hard last night for more people to join their side because they know that if this gets to a league-wide vote, this is going to go through. Mm-hmm. This is going to go through. $100,000 for you got guys, like for instance me, after my rookie year, I was told, save your money. This money isn't going to last that long. I was told, don't buy a house. I was told, do all these things. But I was staring at a bank account that was larger than I could have ever fathomed. There's a lot of places I wanted to go to, and I spent it, and I lived it. And by the time I got back from my second year, training camp, if we didn't have a game coming up, I would have been in a bad spot. But all my friends were in debt. All my friends had student loan debt. All my friends were like, we're behind 8 ball anyway. I'm like, well, if this all comes crashing down, I'm alongside my boys here at least. But that is a real thing. You got a lot of young players that are like inching, and crawling towards every single payment. They're living paycheck to paycheck because they're not the high-end guy that you hear about. And an extra $100,000 is massive in their pocket, and the NFL knew that, and the no's that voted no in the NFLPA knew that. That's why whenever they got it passed, they're like, this is going to pass for sure. Let's get to a caller, though, here. Let's change up speeds a little bit. Isaiah in Indiana wants to talk about something.
Oh, yeah, he's on.
Isaiah, what's up, brother?
How we doing, Pat?
Hey, life is good, Isaiah. How you doing? What do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about my Indiana Hoosiers, man. I skipped calc to be on this call, so I'm fired up.
My guy, Isaiah, you skipped what?
Calculus.
You don't need calculus.
Dude, everybody skips calculus.
You plus me equals us. I know calculus.
You plus me equals us. I know my calculus. Who was that? That was
Is that MTV squad?
Yeah, who are they? I forget their name.
Dream Team.
Anyways, congratulations on skipping calculus and knowing that in the real world you don't need any of that. The Indiana Hoosiers, let's hear about it. Bob Knight was back in the building the other day. That was big for you guys. How's the team? How you doing?
Oh, yeah. You know what? I'm a little upset. You know, the best thing about February is March. And
it's true.
If I'm betting on FanDuel right now, I'm thinking about the Hoosiers a little bit.
Okay.
Listen, they got wins against number 6 Florida, who just smacked Louisville.
Okay.
They lost by 1 to number 9 Maryland. They beat number 18 Iowa. They beat number 23 Ohio State, who was 11 at the time. They beat number 24 Michigan State, who was 11 at the time. They beat a tough Minnesota team on the road. They just beat number 9 Penn State, and after we beat them, they moved them down to number 16. You know what? We got a couple tough losses. We lost to Michigan, who's won 7 of the last 8. Tough loss against Purdue on Bob Knight night. You kicked us while we're down, Pat. We had tears on our eyes. Can you believe it?
It's Bob Knight's
And you know
fault.
what our net ranking is? 52.
All you need to be is 64.
We can't even get a single AP vote.
65.
Hey,
68.
that sounds like good news for bettors though right now, right? Is the futures bet for the Indiana Hoosiers a good one?
Yeah, oh yeah. Listen, man. You got these teams like BYU, number 23.
Oh yeah, he said.
They beat Oral Roberts, Pat, by 6. Oral Roberts.
Pretty good squad.
I think me, you, Zito, and Diggs might be able to beat that team. Oral Roberts. Are you serious?
All right, Isaiah, I appreciate
And listen, man, the 8-8 Hoosiers, 8-8 in the Big Ten, we're only 2 places out of second place. Only 2 games.
That's it.
And we can't get a single vote. Liberty gets a vote. Come on.
I respect Isaiah's passion.
He knew what he was talking about.
He did a lot of
He made a
stats.
good case.
Yeah, he did.
They're plus 9,000, by the way, on FanDuel to win the national championship.
There we go. He said they're going to get hot. He said they're going to win. BYU, he said, who lost to Oral Roberts out there, who's got a bunch of, storming Mormons on the court. He said they're ranked higher than Indiana.
BYU just dominated Gonzaga, who's one of the best teams in the league.
I'm a big college basketball guy.
You are.
Big college basketball guy. Last night I hammered Northern Illinois, Eastern Michigan under because my friend Diggs, who's a diehard degenerate, told me that was a lock.
How'd it go?
Players didn't do what they were supposed to do, Zito.
They scored I think 75 in the first half. I mean,
That's
I
not
think
good.
In the last 16 games those two have played, 2 have gone over. One of them was last night.
I think betting on college student human athletes is a real. Listen,
The roll of dice.
I have absolutely loved getting into sports gambling here since retiring. I love betting on the NFL. Absolutely love betting on the NFL.
Yeah.
Made a lot of money off of betting on the NFL because I feel like it's something I know about.
Bet on what you know.
But when I was in college kicking, the people that were potentially betting on that, were they betting on me being at Penny Pitchers on Wednesday night until 4 a.m. and the game happening on Saturday at noon?
Nope.
Were they betting on? Did they know that? Did they know on Thursday night
Someone knew.
our entire team was at Lazy Lizard? Did they know that? Like, did they know that there was a chance that maybe the well vodka that they were dumping into the high end bottles could have potentially got our starting offensive line sick on Thursday? Did they know? No, they had no idea.
All they ask from you guys is that you do that every single week so that you play the same on the field every single week.
We did.
Don't be going to Penny Pitchers every other week.
No, we won every week.
Good.
Just want to let
You
everybody
should have been
know.
the same every week.
I just want to let everybody know
All we ask for consistency.
that our team was consistently at Penny Pitchers on Wednesday night. And the fact that that was legal ever is one of my favorite things in the history of maybe humanity.
Was there a limit?
No.
I think so, no.
They just kind of let you go if you wanted. Everything, the move was you get in there, you get Penny Pitchers. And you would assume everybody would only drink one. And then the shots,
Yep.
they would upsell on the backside like a massive amount. But they didn't know, like, West Virginia, a lot of beer drinkers. Like, we're just housing pitchers of beer. We get out there, like, what was your bill? 47 cents. Like, I made everybody in there have a good time. That was Wednesday, and then Thursday was Lazy Lizard. Then Friday we're locked up in basically a hotel. We're quarantined, which is smart, by the way. And then game Saturday. Know that Pat White's going to dominate and Steve Slayton's going to dominate. We cover. All right, we're out Saturday night. Sunday, maybe we nap, watch some football. We're out Sunday night. Monday, well, got to go then too. Then you start it back over. Did they know that? Did they know that on a couple Wednesday nights, a lot of our team was talking about never playing football again while we're partying? Like, I don't know how you gamble on these student human athletes. There is so much happening in their world, especially nowadays. There's so much happening in their world. I don't know how you expect any consistency out of them. But last night, Max betted Eastern Michigan, Northern Illinois under because my friend Degenerate Diggs here told me so.
Was he
I didn't
negative
tell you
about it
so.
or positive when
The
he gave that
numbers
bet?
told you so.
He was negative about it. Diggs told me we're going to lose because I'm telling you. And I was like, well, that's not a good start. That's not a good start. Maybe if you're a little positive, we'll win. And that's the problem with you, Diggs. Diggs, here's another question. When was the last time? Hey, Jim, don't go to a break. I got to read this ad. It's $80. Okay? When's the last time you were driving through a storm and thought, wow, I love not being able to see a damn thing?
Never.
Like right now, you look out here, you look out this window, 4 World Trade 50 floors up. We can't see a damn
Not
thing.
ideal driving conditions.
No. But you know what would make it a lot better?
I think I do.
The Michelin Endurance XT silicone wiper blades. Driving in bad weather doesn't have to be a headache thanks to them. These blades last through everything. To prove it, Michelin just put their new Endurance XT silicone wiper blades to the ultimate test on a world record-breaking 16,000-mile drive from Alaska to Argentina to just show how durable these blades are. Rainier Zeitlo, legend of a man, was the man behind the wheel, and he put the Michelin Endurance XT silicone wiper blades through ice, snow, rain, and wind, and the blades took all of it. These blades are crafted for extreme weather performance with an advanced Quad-Tech 4-layer coated silicone that repels water, snow, and ice, and lasts 2 times longer than other blades. The Michelin Endurance XC silicone wiper blades are real-world proven for extreme weather performance. Upgrade to the Michelin Endurance XC silicone wiper blades today, only at Walmart. We're back on the other side, wrapping up the show with a couple more phone calls. The guy has the answer to the Patriots quarterback problem.
Really?
We got more conversation. This has been a good show from New York. We appreciate you listening and watching wherever you're at. This is the Pat McAfee Show.
It's happening. People are freeing themselves from their wireless contracts. It's a movement towards something simple. Get truly unlimited data on a 5G-ready network for just $45 a month, with no contract ever. Simple Mobile. Out with the old, in with the simple.
So now you're here again, knocking at my door. A little too late for, I'm sorry for. The lights went out 'cause you kept kept cutting the cord, and I started to fade into your grave. See, I finally opened up my eyes, and I saw me coming back to life. That I'd be better without you inside. It's time to be someone I wanna recognize. The future starts right now. I made a reservation, but you never came, so I'm checking out. The fire you stole away, I know one day we'll come back around. The future is now. The future is now. The future is now. I waited for you in the passenger seat. There's only so far I can ride in your dreams. While you were chasing everything else but me, I'm starting to break out from your grave. See, I finally opened up my eyes, and I saw me coming back to life. That I'd be better without you inside. It's time to be someone I wanna recognize. The future starts right now. I made a reservation, but you never came, so I'm checking out. The fire you stole away, I know one day we'll come back around. The future is now. The future is now. I'm not backing down, 'cause the future is now. Not backing down, 'cause the future is now. The future starts right now. I made a reservation, but you never came, so I'm checking out. The fire you stole away, I know one day we'll come back around. The future is now. The future is now. The future is now. So now you're here again, knocking at my door. A little too late for, I'm sorry for. The lights went out 'cause you kept cutting the cord, and I started to fade into your grave. See, I finally opened up my eyes, and I saw me coming back to life. That I'd be better without you inside. It's time to be someone I wanna recognize. The future starts right now. I made a reservation, but you never came, so I'm checking out. The fire you stole away, I know one day we'll come back around. The future is now. The future is now. The future is now. I waited for you in the passenger seat. There's only so far I can ride in your dreams. While you were chasing everything else but me, I'm starting to break out from your grave. See, I finally opened up my eyes, and I saw me coming back to life. That I'd be better without you inside. It's time to be someone I wanna recognize. The future starts right now. I made a reservation, but you never came, so I'm checking out. The fire you stole away, I know one day we'll come back around.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show here on this Wednesday, February 26th. I think you can count the Pouncey twins in as a no alongside Russell Wilson and J.J. Watt. Marquise Pouncey just posted on his Instagram story, I believe, an incredible diatribe about how he is out on this new proposed CBA. I think he read through it. I think he does not love what's happening, and he took some shots at the NFLPA's president, DeMaurice Smith, and others, and also called upon the other vets in the NFL that if the young guys are running out of money in this business negotiation, he actually said, and I repeat, the Pouncey twins got you, and other vets should be able to get you. We should make this the right deal. Seems like an overwhelming response from a lot of the veterans in the NFL. A lot of the veterans in the NFL who've been around are like, no, we're not doing this again where we're signing a deal that's a bad deal, and it's going to come out that more bad things happen. I'm excited to hear how this all plays out because I don't think a no vote is going to happen. I think if a player sees he's going to get $100,000 in his bank account, I think he's going to say yes. Pouncey's not happy. Russell Wilson's not happy. J.J. Watt's not happy. And the NFL is sitting back in an office right down the road from here with their fingers crossed, their feet kicked up on their very marble, expensive desks, saying, let's let them figure this out. And this is exactly how we thought this was going to go about 3 months ago whenever we said, there's no way this deal gets done early. There's so much money on the line. If you get a deal done early, you're automatically guaranteed a loser in the entire thing. And that's how the NFLPA and that's how the players feel right now.
Remember like half an hour ago when I said I think the deal's going to get done? I feel a little differently now. The video of Marquise Pouncey didn't change your mind.
Hey, Pouncey's rolling. I think $100,000 in your pocket is just a much different answer. I think it's just a much different answer. Now, granted, if these vets are just going to shell out money to these young guys who potentially need it, if a lockout happens, like I'm all in on that. The brotherhood taking care of each other. But Pouncey was not happy with this deal. I respect Pouncey a lot, by the way. I'm a man that has met Pouncey. He's a guy that went to battle for his quarterback. I mean, I respect Pouncey a lot. I think a lot of players respect Pouncey. I think if Russell Wilson says, yo, I'm voting no on this, I think a lot of people look at that and go, it's Russell Wilson. When Pouncey says, I am voting no on this, and we are not, and it was a very aggressive message.
Passionate.
Whenever he says no, that means something, by the way. That's going to radiate across the locker room. Maybe there will be a no vote that happens.
Can someone, instead of them going off and saying no, can one of them tell us why?
I tweeted Russell Wilson asking him why. Richard Sherman, I asked him why. I haven't asked JJ. I should ask JJ.
Yeah.
Nobody's telling us exactly why, other than the 17-game season. Let's talk about the numbers. The $5 billion over 10 years for 1.5% increase. Whenever you whittle that down, it's extra $100 million or whatever, and it's only like $70,000 a player. So the numbers look big, and then once you actually start doing the math, it's not that large. So I think that is all in the PR process of the NFL spinning this being a good deal. And right now, as the players are diving into it, I'm excited for these more emotional responses.
So in the video, we can't play it here because there's a lot of vulgar words.
They're adult words, and the FCC lives by a childish.
Pouncey says that he basically thinks that the player reps voted yes so that they could say that they got something done.
At the end of it, yeah. Not the player reps. I think he was going directly at the president.
DeMaurice.
Yeah, he was going right at DeMaurice. DeMaurice, by the way, anytime you're the president of a association or a union or whatever you want to call it, you're obviously not going to be able to win over everybody. I was not a big fan of the way he moved and grooved business-wise, and it seems as if Pouncey is very much in the same situation.
But, like, why would over a majority vote yes if all these other players are coming out and they are adamant that it's a terrible deal? How do you get 17 of the 32?
That's what I'm saying.
To vote yes.
I don't know. We know nothing that's happening in these rooms.
You said this the other day. The NFLPA and their issues with this, they are losing this war because they don't know how to market what's going on their side.
All we need, Oh, wait, hold on. Matt Hasselbeck, we got 1 minute. Matt Hasselbeck just sent me the CBA proposal fact sheet. He just sent it to me from the NFLPA.
A little late, Matt.
Matt, I got 1 minute. It's a 5-scroller. This is like a text message I get from my fiance after I made something, made her mad about something. There's no way. We'll get this tomorrow. Okay, so we have the NFLPA's fact sheet for tomorrow. Also on tomorrow's show, I think we have some massive guests. Frank Caliendo is joining us in studio for the second hour.
Jordan Palmer. Joe Burrow's coach will be in the first hour in studio. We're back in Indianapolis. Friday, we have Rich Eisen joining us. I think Matt Rule of the Carolina Panthers is coming to the office. I'm not sure if it's during the show or not. I mean, we got a lot going on back in Indianapolis with the Combine. We're excited to get there. I got to go win a prestigious award here in about 35 minutes. Give a speech, that whole thing. Shout out to Tony Bruno. It's been a hell of a show. We covered a lot. Thank you for listening or watching wherever you may be. You're the absolute greatest. This has been the Pat McAfee Show from New York City.
At Simple Mobile, you get the no contract advantage. Unlimited talk, text, and data now for $30 a month. Now on a 5G ready network with no activation fees ever. No confusion, no complexity, no frustration, and no contract. Ever, ever, ever. Now get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a month. And now 5G ready. It's our best deal ever. Buy yours now at nationwide retailers or at Simple Mobile dealers. Learn more at simplemobile.com. Simple Mobile, out with the old, in with the simple.